Good afternoon, everybody. We are waiting for one more trustee so that we'll have a quorum in order to vote. So we will go through the agenda without votes. We'll begin with a resolution, an explanation by the Vice Chancellor for a resolution approving the capital budget request for fiscal year 2008-2009 through 2012 and 2013.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would ask that the members, there is a blue packet on your desk, and in that folder are three things. There's a resolution, which we'll be voting on later, a summary of the request, which I'm going to go into detail about, and then a handout of my presentation, so you can have that as well. I just want to say that this capital plan was developed from the campus master plans undertaken with full participation of the administrators, faculty, and staff and students here at Cuny. I just want to give an overview first and foremost. As everyone around here knows, we are the largest urban public university in the country, probably in the world. Our facilities portfolio is very large. We have 293 buildings consisting of 26.1 million gross square feet, and our 5-year capital request is for funding across all 21 campuses. When developing the capital request, one must first look at the present condition and take into account the age of our facilities. This graph shows by decade the gross square footage added to CUNY's inventory. A substantial amount of our space is on all of the campuses is more than 30 years old, and more than 75% of the gross square footage was created before 1970. And I just want to point out that the average age of our buildings is approximately 50 years old. This is an important year because it's the beginning of a new 5-year capital cycle to set the groundwork for the next 5 years for our campus's facilities. The university is requesting an unprecedented $7.3 billion in this 5-year request. I just want to point out that the state has indicated that there will be no increases during this 5-year period. Any additional program needs that CUNY has will have to come from within this 5-year plan, or we'll have to wait for the next cycle of capital plans. As this committee knows, as I've talked about before, with the amazing amount of construction going on in New York City, this has really created a challenge for us here at CUNY. It's important to note that CUNY cannot access the state funding of our community colleges without the city match, which I'll go into a little bit later. I just want to point out that we are asking for $5.7 billion for our senior colleges, $813 million for the community colleges in Medgar Evers, and the request to the city will be $863.2 million. I just want to note that the discrepancy of the city request is that the state has funded some of our projects to date and the city has not. I just want to go into project categories that you'll find in the handout of the capital plan. One has to do with CUNY-wide programs. The second I'll go into is CUNY First, the university's ERP initiative, and then individual campus projects such as new construction and new buildings along the CUNY's portfolio. This slide summarizes the overall CUNY priorities for the 5-year capital plan request. They are health and safety, system preservation, code compliance, critical maintenance, complete active and ongoing work, and the Chancellor's Initiative, which is a decade of the sciences and science lab upgrades. First, I'd like to talk about the CUNY-wide programs. These are requests for funding to address small and mid-sized major maintenance issues across all campuses. They deal with health and safety issues, facilities preservation, ADA and asbestos, and energy conservation. And the last CUNY-wide program, as this committee has heard before, has to do with CUNY First, which is the fully integrated resources and services tool initiative that the university is embarking upon. And this will be a new computer system which will provide uniform administrative applications in the areas of student information, finance, human resources across all 23 institutions, and the central office. Now I'd like to discuss the individual campus projects. First, I'll share with you the science initiatives and then the other individual campus projects already in construction, followed by the new initiatives. As you know, the Chancellor has declared this the decade of the sciences, and we've already begun a number of our science facilities on the individual campuses. The 5-year capital request includes funding to complete these buildings. On the City College campus, we will construct Phase 1 of the ASRC and the new science building for CCNY. Phase 1 of ASRC will be a 189,000 square foot building in total, and the estimated cost is $284 million. The CCNY building will be 200,000 gross feet at a total estimated cost of $299 million. The firms of Flad & Associates and Cohn Peterson Fox will be in a joint venture and have designed these two buildings. On this slide, the new CCNY building is on the left and the ACR building is on the right. At Lehman College, we're also building a new science building in 2 phases. The $70 million Phase 1 portion of the building is 66,000 gross square feet of instructional space that will go into construction next summer. And our request is for Phase 2, the research portion of the building, with an estimated cost of $217 million. Perkins & Will has designed this building. At Brooklyn College, we've been working with the firms of FX Fowl Architects and Shepley Bullfinch to complete a feasibility study for the sciences that expands upon the recommendations of the college's master plan. The conclusion of this study is to build a new science building in 2 phases on the existing Roosevelt Hall site. In this 5-year capital plan, we will build Phase 1, a 180,000 square foot instructional building at a cost of $358 million. Phase 2 will be part of the next 5-year plan, adding 100,000 square feet of additional space. The photo on the left is the existing Roosevelt Hall, and the map is a site plan with the connections between the proposed building and Ingersoll Hall. At Queens College, the science upgrades are already underway. The addition to Remsen Hall for research space, the rendering on the lower right, is in construction right now. It was designed by Mitchell Gergela Associates. Phase 2 of the science upgrades will renovate instructional labs in the existing building after Phase 1 is completed at a cost of $56 million. For Hunter College, we are developing an RFP to leverage the existing Brookdale campus in order to build a new science facility closer to the main campus. Even with those private funds, the new building will require significant state appropriations and have to be built in phases. The photo you're looking at is the existing West Building at the Brookdale campus. At John Jay, we're in construction on a new 625,000 gross square foot building designed by Skidmore, Owens & Merrill. This $632 million multi-use facility will include science labs, classrooms, student services, a computer center, faculty and administrative offices, and support space. The building will bring a phenomenal change to 11th Avenue. The street-level bookstore and cafe will be open to the public. And as many of you know, my staff is at 57th Street, and they're looking with much anticipation for this building to go up. The West Quad building at Brooklyn College is also under construction. This $141 million building, designed by Raphael Vignoli, will include the following student services: admissions, registrar, bursar, and financial aid. There will also be a one-stop counter where students can receive direction in any of these areas from a cross-trained staff. The physical education facilities comprise the remainder of the building. The lower right rendering is of the building's front on the new West Quad, and in the upper left is the one-stop student services center in the lobby. Another challenging project for us is the replacement of Fitterman Hall for the Borough of Manhattan Community College. As you know, our building was badly damaged on 9/11. The anticipated cost to replace the building is now set at $315 million. Paycobb Frieden Partners has designed the new 377,000 gross square foot building that will rise on the site where the original structure still stands. It will house classrooms, lecture halls, offices, student meeting spaces, and a virtual library linked back to the Chambers Street building. The deconstruction plan will be resubmitted to the regulatory agencies on November 7th. Approval is anticipated by the end of the year. Once received, deconstruction will begin within 1 month. The deconstruction will take approximately 1 year. The renderings you see are of the new building and of the south lobby. We're also in construction on Academic Building Number 1, designed by Polshak Partnership Architects at Medgar Evers College. This new $235 million building will house state-of-the-art classrooms and computer labs for all disciplines, as well as instructional labs and faculty offices for the School of Science, Health, and Technology. The building will also house the college's main dining facility. This is a rendering of the new academic building. The North Instructional Building at Bronx Community College will be the first building constructed for the college since the campus was purchased from NYU in the 1970s. As you may remember from the presentation at our June meeting, the firm of Robert A.M. Stern Architects has designed this beautiful new classroom and library building that will close off the North Quad as intended in the original campus master plan. The $102 million building is designed and construction documents are being prepared. We will break ground next spring. The rendering is of the new quad on the upper left and the new building on the lower right. We have another project at City College, the conversion of the 1950s library building for the School of Architecture. Raphael Vignoli designed the $76 million renovation, which is in construction now. In the upper left is the photo of the existing Y building. At the bottom right is a model of the building we will have once it is renovated. The next major project for Borough College is the renovation of 17 Lexington Avenue building. Because the building is occupied and the college does not have available swing space, the renovation will be completed in phases. The first phase will build out space for the college in the upper floors after the current occupant, a Department of Education high school, moves out of the building in August of 2009. Additionally, we will begin addressing the building's infrastructure. We're requesting in this plan $93.5 million for the first phase of this reconstruction. At Hostos Community College, the renovation of 500 Grand Concourse building is an ongoing effort that we began a few years ago. We're able to clear one floor at a time to renovate the building in phases. The first phases, which constructed a new lobby and the dental clinic, are complete. Funding for the new plan will also allow us to continue improvements on the building floor by floor. Additionally, we are addressing the building's infrastructure, including a roof replacement, window replacement, and bathroom upgrades. Similarly, we are renovating the Center 3 building at LaGuardia Community College, which is the largest building in Cuny's facilities portfolio, in phases. The college recently completed a master plan amendment, which was presented here, that Halpern Architects presented to us back in September provides a guide for us to make incremental changes throughout the building in a logical and systematic way. In September, we opened the new Honors College on West 67th Street. This wonderful building was purchased in 2006 for the university through a donation by William E. McCauley, a 1966 honors graduate of City College. The facility includes state-of-the-art classroom space, a lecture hall, student performance space, a fully equipped screening room, seminar meeting rooms, administrative offices, a cafe, and other common gathering places for the students. The McCauley Center is 2 minutes from Lincoln Center and 2 minutes from Central Park. The welcoming, convenient space provides an elegant learning environment and a location for cross-campus community. Truly a campus and a home for a center in New York City. We're requesting funding in this plan for minor improvements to preserve the facility and enhance its functionality, as well as to repay financing associated with the purchase of the building. At New York City Technical College, we're in design on the public-private partnership project at the Clitcourt site. This new mixed-use facility will provide classrooms, science labs, the dental and vision clinics, faculty offices, a gym, a theater for the college. A portion of the project costs are funded through the sale of air rights. And I might point out that at the New York City College of Technology, Renzo Piano has been selected as the architect by Forest City Radnor. In this plan, we're also requesting funding to relocate Cuny Law School to another location in Queens that is more accessible by public transportation. The existing law school building is a converted elementary school. The facility does not function well for delivery of the law school's programs. We've had some preliminary discussions with developers who have sites in Long Island City that are capable of accommodating the law school program. These developers are ready to move into construction and would welcome our participation. Additionally, the foundation that holds our lease on the Hunter School of Social Work has asked us to consider relocating the school. They're willing to provide a substantial amount of funding for this move. The existing building is very inefficient and has a number of infrastructure issues. We've had some preliminary discussions with the developer, who has a site in Harlem, wherein we could take a condominium interest. The new site is convenient to public transportation and in a community that would strongly benefit from the school's presence. The state has given us direction to develop our request such that we will not have to come back for additional funds until the next 5-year plan. Therefore, we have to anticipate how the hyper-competitive market in which our construction takes place, examples of which are the amount of work in Lower Manhattan, the MTA capital programs, and the housing boom, the cost escalations averaging 1.5% per month will impact our costs. The numbers on this slide will include in the $7.3 billion number. These were the primary reasons for the increase in our request from last year, not additional projects. The 30% escalation inflation factor is a separate fund DOB requested that we address the realities of New York City construction market that I just mentioned. We recommended leaving these funds in a separate account so they can be accessed as needed for projects. The claims fund request is based upon an analysis prepared by DASNY that is necessary to address issues which the contractors, usually at the end of a construction, when the project budget has been spent out, and that there isn't any funding left to settle these claims. So in effect, we're taking money from existing or future projects. Funding is requested to support a key initiative of the 2008-2009 through 2013 capital program, critical maintenance. This encompasses projects intended to bring CUNY campuses to a state of good repair, to include repair of interiors, building envelopes, roofs, mechanical systems, electrical systems, chiller, boiler plants, fire alarm systems. The amount for this initiative is being estimated by our consultants and will be provided to us shortly for inclusion in the final request. This initiative is being developed in conjunction with the State University Construction Fund for SUNY. And due to the age and magnitude of our facilities portfolio, we believe the number will be very large. In conclusion, this pie chart shows the university's major bonded projects by type. New construction makes up 36% of our request, or almost $2 billion. Facilities preservation projects are 19%, $1.1 billion. Energy conservation is 9%, $500 million. Health and safety projects are 10%, $556 million. Operational changes are $110 million. Renovation projects comprise 16% of the request, or $902 million. And technology upgrades, which include CUNY First, are 8% of the request, or $436 million. Mr. Chairman, that's my report on the capital plan.
Vice Chancellor, I have two questions.
Sure.
About the Hunter College new science building, Phase 1. What does it mean that Brookdale campus will be leveraged to build a new science facility near the 68th Street campus? Does that mean we're selling the Brookdale, or we're renting it, or?
We are about to go out on the street with an RFP, and our hope is to sell the Brookdale site and to be able to then leverage those assets to be able to build a new science facility up where the Julia Richmond site is on 67th and 2nd Avenue.
Will that include the dorms that are down at Brookdale?
In the RFP, we're asking the dorms be replaced, so whichever developer wins that RFP process, they are going to be required to replace those dorms in some form or fashion within their site.
Within the current
Brookdale
site? or
site,
new-
not
the
the
current
si-
site?
yes.
Right, I see. Oh, that's interesting. And I was wondering, I see that College of Staten Island is in the budget request, but it's not in this PowerPoint presentation.
It's just,
It's-
I could sit here for hours
Okay.
going off all the projects, and, you'll notice that all the colleges are well represented.
Ma'am?
I think the range and scope of these projects is simply stunning. There's a huge amount of new construction here, and that's one can only say bravo to this development. Cuny has needed this kind of scope of new construction for a long time. One caveat: I hope that the city will step up to the plate to do more to finance more construction for the community colleges. The needs for instructional space, space for staff, offices are enormous, and suspect will remain enormous when all finished.
All right. Could we entertain a motion to approve this separately in view of the magnitude thereof, and then we'll go back to the minutes?
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, could we have a motion to approve the meeting minutes of September
Second.
4th? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And now we'll return to the remaining resolutions, one on Brooklyn College and one on Hunter.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This project is a replacement of existing roofs and associated asbestos abatement at Brooklyn College at James Hall. The project includes roof replacement, asbestos abatement, drainage and refurbishing replacement, brick masonry. Bottom line is it's a bad roof and we have to replace it.
Or buy lots of umbrellas.
Yeah, exactly. You want to go on to the next project?
Yeah.
Okay.
Take those two.
The next project is at Hunter College. It's the lab renovation of the organic chemistry lab at Hunter College. Our intent is to renovate the existing organic chemistry lab as well as the digital media lab to meet the needs of both the departments of chemistry and film and media, and to bring the facilities into compliance with the applicable codes and standards. And I might add that this project has gotten a lot of city support, and the project is being funded mostly through appropriations for the City of New York.
Motion to approve those two items?
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone here have any other business, or Vice Chancellor have any other business, or the Chancellor?
Nope.
Motion to adjourn this meeting.
You did a great job.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.